Hello everybody. Texas opened up, so I was able to get a haircut. The rest of the world has not opened up, but it will, and this video is going to be about your return to training and how to do it properly and not like an idiot. First things first, warm up. When you're getting back into training, the warm up is robust. It gets your heart rate up. It might be higher volume than what you're used to. I've noticed, the more in shape I get for weightlifting, the less time it really takes me to warm up, just because I'm in much better shape. I'm in much better touch with the barbell, so I don't really take that much time. When you're getting back into training, I highly suggest you take a long warm up. So this is our warm up today. 10 overhead squats plus snatch press.
Yeah, 5 squats press.
All right, so we're gonna do that, and then we'll get into snatching. All right, so I highly suggest building your warm-up like its own workout type of fashion. It keeps your, your mind stimulated so you don't get bored, and it's actually like kind of fun to do. But also, like, you got to think about it like this: unless you were doing those at-home pistol squats like you said you were, you're probably out of shape, not just with the barbell in your hands, but just in general. You're physically completely out of shape. So this sort of stuff, like as you can hear, I'm breathing really heavy, like helps your fitness. And that's gonna be a trend throughout this video. All right, so we've completed the warm up, but now we need to focus on mobility and positions. Probably the most important part of mobility and positions is gonna be your bottom position, whether it's the snatch, clean, or any of the squats. I've talked about this before in my ass to grass video, so please check that one out. But this is a wonderful time to start focusing on this joint angle right here. That is the hip.
The hips.
Okay, so often in weightlifting, we've determined that we're just gonna arch back into the bar like this in our bottom position and send our knees forward. I have no issues with knees going forward, but I do have issues with knees going forward if they interfere with the amount of flexion you can get in your hips. Kind of like this. Right? The knee angle is more. I don't really care too much about that. I'm not worried about shear force or the danger of the knee going forward. I'm worried about efficiency. This is vastly more efficient. You look at any good snatcher who's ever existed. Their hip crease is noticeably below the knee and their head is through the bar. So this is what we're gonna focus on with the first drill, which is the press in snatch. All right, so we notice that Josh's hip crease is noticeably below the knees, and then he's gonna press with his head through. Yeah, pretty easy. Okay, if Josh starts to struggle with this, or if you're struggling with this and you can't do it yourself, we're gonna take the bar over to this little bench over here. You can stack plates, you can do whatever you want. And he's gonna sit straight up and down, and then he's gonna just hinge slightly so he gets his chest forward, and then he's gonna press from here. Still maintaining his head through. That's a little bit, push it more directly overhead. There we go. That's it right there. So Josh and I are gonna do 3 sets of 5, work to rest, press in snatch. And we're just gonna keep the bar at 40 kilos. So the most difficult thing on this is basically not letting that bar rotate back in the hand. So as you press it overhead, you're gonna wanna start peeling the wrist kind of back like that. And you wanna be able to hold that bar in like this mimicked J cup. And also, the variability of how much you're leaning forward is gonna change with the body type. For me, I'm just focusing on being able to keep control over my core when I'm in a very compromised position so that I can just press steadily. So on this one, I'm gonna try not to let the bar slam down on me because I did that on the last set. Warm up done. All right, so today, Josh and I, for training, we're just gonna snatch pretty light and just focus on movement. For you guys, when you get into your actual training, your snatch session, clean and jerk session, squat, whatever, remember that movement is king. It will always trump the amount of load on the barbell, the amount of weight that you can lift. Because it doesn't matter what shape you were in before, you're not in that shape now. I can guarantee you when you're feeling pretty good, you're gonna wanna go heavy because you've been resting so long. But it's much more important to have ownership over the entirety of the movement. So finally, have a cue. And this is where you get into the realm of practice. So for Josh and I, today our cue is gonna be keep your chest involved. What that means is the weight of the bar is gonna be controllable enough in our hands that when we make contact, rather than fighting and pulling everything back and really focusing on driving the hips, we're gonna keep our chest involved and try to come in this way. Probably one of the most overrated aspects of weightlifting, and that is triple extension, or the absolute importance of hip extension. Because when we start to think about hip extension being the king and triple extension being the king, we forget all of the other aspects of training. So for us today, it's about control and it's about extension vertically. I don't care about triple extension. I don't care about hip extension. I care about getting the job done properly. All right, so Josh is gonna really try to change speed and just keep control over that bar. Beautiful. And something I oftentimes tell Josh is to hit the bar. But that's more of an advanced cue because I know he's not just gonna slam his hips, he's gonna take the bar and actually make a very aggressive contact. No cuts. So when you drive and you keep your chest involved, try to, again, hit the bar, but also follow through with the hands into your belly. There you go. It's got to come right when you feel it coming past the knees is when, from here to here, you've got to force the issue. Yeah, so I'm just thinking bar from here to here, I'm not ever letting go. I'm always feeling it in my hands. Yeah. That was better. Also, I don't know if you guys can hear in the background. But I don't want to get copyrighted. Yeah, we need chalk. Badly. Please donate. Hit it and follow through. Let's go. Good. This is also like CrossFitter's tempo, but if you're returning to the barbell, like you need to be working this fast. There's really no excuse to not be at least trying to attain some level of fitness. But the important thing is, like, we're doing this at a higher clip, at a good tempo, but it's at absolute, we're fixating on perfect movement. For some reason that bar on right off the floor is going forward.
Yeah. So focus more on timing change probably.
Well, just over the top of the bar. Maybe pull the knees out, maybe just...
Give it another.
I'm trying to not let the bar kick out on the first movement that happens.
Yeah.
Because when it comes back in, it's going to come back into to the hips really hard and then blast back out. And the only way to fix that is to go back like this so the bar doesn't kick out.
Okay.
Like it's a push and a pull. Like if it goes out in the beginning, it's going to come back in the middle and then kick back out in the end. So that one I kind of left. I got enough speed, but I kind of left it out here a little bit. Now, so you did what I just did.
Yeah.
So clean it up. You're in between two places. It's either you're back here or you're kind of like back here, and then the bar's going out. The bar's going out either way.
Yeah.
So you have to learn how to finish like in between both.
Yeah.
Do it again. There you go. Right? It's in the spot you want. He's good. So you know, like, you have to get up, like, again, 110 for me. If I miss like I did before, I'm likely gonna walk it out front or whatever.
That's experience.
It's staying up without meaning maximally backwards.
Yeah.
But also like chest involved without letting the bar loop out front.
Yeah.
That was better. Try giving it a little bit of speed, like feeling it in your hands off the floor.
Yeah.
And then punching it really, really hard. Oh, there it is. That was it. Yeah. So that was it. You were just too slow off the floor.
Yeah.
If this goes well, it'll be my last lift of the day because tomorrow we're going to go heavy. There it is. That's the spot. All right, that's going to conclude the video. Thank you guys for watching. Just remember those things, and like, movement is king. You know, figuring out what you want to train and then add in weight as you go, but you got to move well.